if you have ever felt like minis were a waste of time, but you did them only because everyone expected you to, then there's 11 ways that you can actually make great money from your mini sessions.
So the question is this: how are photographers like you, who are tired of giving away all of their hard work at rock bottom prices, who long to stand out in markets that are getting more and more crowded by the day, and who want to run businesses that serve them, their clients, and their families, how can those photographers pull all this off without sacrificing their family time, their client base, and their integrity? Well, if that's the question, then this podcast has the answers. My name is Chris Scott, and this is the Printmaker Podcast.
Hello. All right, so mini session time is here. Let's talk about how to make those mini sessions more profitable. And I want to not just look at how to make more money, but instead, let's talk about both sides of profitability. So yes, we'll talk about making more money per client, but we're also going to talk about cutting costs. In fact, let's start with cutting costs. And most of the costs that we're talking about at this point are really like time costs. So I want to look at some ways to cut down on the amount of time that you're spending per client so that you can maximize your profits, all right? So number one, feel free during mini session season to forego an in-person planning meeting and instead do it over Skype or over FaceTime or over the phone, or as a last resort, do that planning meeting right at the very beginning of the session and take that time to focus on the products that they want from their session with you. And if you're not sure how to get clients who want products in the first place, go back to episode 10 for the best way that we know how to get clients in the door who want prints instead of files. All right. So number two, you do your minis back to back, right? Why not do your sales meetings back to back as well? If you spend an entire Saturday photographing your mini sessions, then block off the following Saturday for their sales meetings. This way you can get each client meeting done in a single day, and you can get your orders to the lab before their holiday deadlines. And if you want to really save some time and hassle for everyone, you can do your sales meetings virtually. You can use something like Calendly.com to let clients sign up for a time slot on your calendar. Then you just send them a Zoom or a Skype link, and you share your screen, and you rock that sales meeting with just a laptop and an internet connection. All right? Okay, so number three, that week between the session and the sales meeting, don't edit every image, all right? Do a light edit where you're just correcting exposure and color temperature and maybe any crooked photos if you shoot anything like me. Basically anything that you can edit once and then copy those settings over to a batch of images at the same time in Lightroom, do that between the session and the sales meeting. And then only do your final edits on images that the client actually orders. So if you do the heavy editing on images though, like if your style just requires heavy editing, then maybe fully edit one image from their session so that you can show them what a final image will look like. Otherwise, just do that light edit and then do your full edits only on the ones that are ordered. All right, number four, pre-design all the things. All right, save time during your sales meetings by having products pre-designed for them. If they talked about wanting wall art during the planning meeting, then mock up one or two gallery options in Swift galleries before the sales meeting. If they love it, you don't have to do anything else. If they want to change it, it'll take less time during the meeting to modify what you've already created than it would to build something from scratch with that client. Okay, and that brings us to number five, pre-sell product bundles. Now, if you know me, you know that I am a big fan of a la carte sales. I really prefer a la carte, but minis are kind of another animal. So this is a great time to offer a bundle of tried and true favorite products. Instead of offering the session and the files though, why not offer the session and an 11 by 14 mounted print and 4 files, or the session and an 11 by 14 mounted print and a pack of holiday cards and the files of any of the images that they choose for their products. All right. Selling these up front is going to speed up your sales meetings significantly, but also leave room for you to upsell some products. And that leads us to the other side of making your mini sessions more profitable, which is increasing your revenue per client. All right, so Number one, why did I talk about 11 by 14s just now? You remember I said, you can give them the session and an 11 by 14, right? Well, 11 by 14s are kind of this weird in-between product. It's kind of too big for a tabletop print, but it's also really too small for the wall. So by offering 11 by 14s with your minis, it leaves the door wide open for you to show them during the sales meeting something like, so you basically say something like, hey, here's the 11 by 14 that you get with your mini, but I really think this would look much better on your wall as something like a 20 by 30 like this. And this is where you would show it to them in something like Swift Galleries, right? And then you can go on to say, after applying the cost of the 11 by 14 that you get for free, it's only X dollars to get this instead. All right. So you're using that as an upsell. You're using that 11 by 14 to say like, look, this doesn't really look great on the wall and it's kind of too big for the tabletop. So I really think if you went with something like this, which, is a 20 by 30 or something like that this would look a lot better. What do you think? Right. So this is a really low pressure way to upsell your clients to larger products and put better and like truly more appropriate products in their home. Okay. All right, number 2 for increasing revenue. When showing wall products, this is just kind of like a hack that we realized. When showing wall products, start big and make it smaller. So I'm talking about like if you're using software and you can show them a bunch of different sizes on the wall. Start big and then go down from there. You show the largest product that makes sense for that space. Don't go crazy and show them something, like a 40 by 70 if like that just looks stupid in the space. Show the largest product that makes sense for that space. And if it's too big, work your way down the sizes until you reach one that they like. You're going to end up with a larger product on the wall than if you had started at the smallest one and worked your way up. All right. Okay. Number 3, pre-design. Yeah, I know we already mentioned this, but not only does pre-designing wall galleries and albums save you time, but it'll dramatically increase your sales since you have the time to really build out a thoughtful wall gallery before the sales meeting. And similar to what we just discussed, if they take things away from a multi-image gallery, you'll still typically end up with more products sold than if they were to add more products to a single image that you showed them during the sales meeting. Hope that makes sense. All right, number 4. Offer discounts on next year's full sessions. Okay, look, you've got someone who has already hired you and you've just shown them amazing photos. This is the best time to ask them if they want to book a, quote, real session during your next full session season, right? Offer them a discount for getting their spot booked now and tell them that they'll get first dibs on choosing their time slot as soon as you open up those session times. All right, okay. Number 5, this is something that one of our printmakers did, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant, okay? Suggest holiday decor. This one's crazy to me. So your clients buy a bunch of holiday decorations to put out once a year, right? They put a Christmas tree up. They buy all the stuff that goes around the house, all of that, right? Why not suggest a family portrait that matches the season as well? When the Christmas tree goes up, so does the family portrait playing in the snow. Or when the Thanksgiving decorations come out, so does that amazing fall foliage portrait that you created for them. We have one of our members uses this and makes a killing with it by just saying like, hey, let's do this as a framed print that will go over your fireplace just during the holidays. And then you can swap it out the rest of the year with that other framed print that we did during your spring session, that kind of thing. So the worst they can say is no, thank you. So these types of things, it's just a really, really great idea. All right. Okay. Number 6, use holiday cards as loss leaders. All right. So if you're not sure what a loss leader is, let's talk about it. So did you know that most fast food restaurants make next to nothing on their food? In fact, if you go into a McDonald's today and just order a burger, they're going to lose money on your order because they're charging you less than it cost them to make that burger. All right. But that's why they want you to get a drink and fries. That drink that they charge you $2 for to add to your order, it costs them about 2 cents to make it. And that is how they make a profit, by getting you in the door with the food, which is the loss leader, and getting in the black by getting you to buy a drink with it. Okay, so another quick example. That bargain bin DVDs at the back of your local Target. They're losing money if you go into the store and buy a DVD from that bin. but they're banking on the fact that you won't walk all the way to the back of the store, grab a DVD, and then walk all the way back to the front of the store without also picking up at least one other product that they can turn a profit on. So what does that have to do with holiday cards? Holiday cards are incredibly difficult to sell at a profit. You'd have to charge far more than what they'd pay through a consumer lab if you wanted to hit your profitability goal. So instead of trying to charge enough to be profitable, use them as a loss leader by bundling them with your higher profit margin products. Maybe they can get a pack of cards for free with their session, but you'll give them 100 if they buy a piece of wall art. Or maybe you list them at a high enough price to be profitable, but you tell them that they save 50% on that price if they buy an album, right? You're going to cover your time costs with the album, then make your profit off both the album and the cards. Now, if all of this sounds like voodoo to you, go check out pickpriceprofit.com. That's pickpriceprofit.com. It's our product picking and pricing course, and it dives deep into all of these types of strategies. And you can actually grab the first lesson for free over there as well at pickpriceprofit.com. Okay. So there you have it. If you have ever felt like minis were a waste of time, but you did them only because everyone expected you to, then there's 11 ways that you can actually make great money from your mini sessions. And if you didn't write those down, don't worry about it. Head over to theprintmakersystem.com/mini-sessions to look at the full list from this episode. All right. That's theprintmakersystem.com/mini-sessions. Thanks so much. And I will talk to you again soon.
Hey, thanks so much for listening to the Printmaker Podcast. I hope this episode has helped you out. Now, if you would like to return the favor and help us out, the best thing that you can do for us is to head over to iTunes and leave an honest rating and review. That does a ton to help us spread the word about the Printmaker Podcast. Thanks, and I will see you in the next episode.